We had a very long day of rain, maybe 24 hours. Not necessarily hard rain. And then at about 24 hours, it's changed and it became slush. And then snow. And I came out here 2 days after the rain, snowstorm, to see how on earth it looked. And to also see if the plants were still sticking up through the snow. I will have to look at my pictures, but my recollection is all this stuff was flat, especially the panicum, which is the tall grass. So here we are a couple weeks later. I'm out here again, and I see basically the prairie drop seed did not I would say reinflate itself. But it looks kind of gorgeous, all smashed into the ground. But the panicum is sticking up. Look at that. Now, it's lost a little color compared to some years. Some years it would have held the color a little longer, at least into January. But I have to say, I'm delighted, because one of the things that this kind of landscape can do is it can look great all winter. It also provides homes for all the bugs, all the life that sustains our landscapes. So we leave, these are young plantings, but we leave the stalks and the leaf litter in place on the beds. And at some point it will become too thick and we will have to either burn it or simulate a burn as best we can by cutting. And truthfully, this will be gardened over the years, which means that some years some things might get cut more brutally or closer to the ground than others, more aggressively. And other years we might let things stay. Yeah, those two really fuzzy things right there. Those are weeds. I pulled them out, but I didn't pick them up. Here's some Samaragrost spectabilis, which is a delicious little purple, fuzzy, flowery grass. And this area of the plantings went in this past season. The taller plants back there mostly are on their second season, and actually this spring will be their third season. But the entire maybe 3 to 6 foot ring around this bed and the front, which does look kind of bare, is actually just in its first season. It's stunning, yeah? Now these prairie drop seed, I think were planted as like a 2-quart. Some of them, because we were able to get them. I do like to plant some of the plants. Prairie drop seed is one of them, typically at larger size, and that is honestly for the public's benefit, not mine, because it's really important to have legibility in the design. And I would say right now this planting has the legibility only the designer might see, at least in the video. In real life it's more legible, but if you imagine in the next couple of years as it fills out, how it's going to really, really sing in terms of readable areas, and also an ever-transitioning matrix of interest. And over time, some things like this Monarda fistulosa will probably be almost eliminated from the bed. They tend to be very easy to get some wow out of right away. They also tend to spread a lot, and over time, the more established, I hate to use the word more established prairie, because it's just not. It's not a prairie. But the more established the landscape is, the more of the longer lived, more permanent plants will be relied on instead of the ones that prefer broken ground. Like that Monarda fistulosa is kind of an opportunist. If it sees a place it can grow, boy, by golly, it's going to grow. And that works to our advantage because it's very beautiful and it's quite sizable. I mean, some of these plants aren't giving us the size just yet. That Bouteloua curtipendula is adorable, but it's not as tall as it will be, and it's certainly not as robust. You can see I planted it quite dense right there. I did that on purpose. We'll probably thin it out in 2 years, but we'll see, might be sooner. So these areas around the edge are different plants. This is actually a sedge, and this little area is a grass, and then that's penstemon, and then this is another sedge, and that is a grass. That's more Aragrostis spectabilis, actually. And then this is a sedge that likes a little more sun, and then a sedge that deals with a little more shade. There's actually two in there. They don't look very different right now, but over time they will. Interplanted in the bed are sedges. They're a little difficult to see, but they're in there. And that would be kind of a thing you would see in nature. Nature does not like bare ground. It does not like mulch. So these areas of wood chip mulch that people put in are not, they're not working with nature. This is a Bouteloua gracilis. It's adorably small. It's not necessarily easy to find naturally in the area, but it's considered, of course, native because there's certain places that would normally have it. And I like it. I wanted to try it. It's short. It makes a good facer. It's on a slope, so it'll get lots of good drainage, even though the soils might not be its favorite kind. There's a bare spot up there, which I can't figure out why it's there. It almost looks like birds came and rolled in the dirt or something funny. So now we've been all the way around the garden here, this particular bed, and I'm going to sign off. Bouteloua curtipendula. Oh wait, I'm not going to sign off yet. Check this out. This is Liatris scariosa newlandii. By the way, all of our plants are sourced from local restoration nurseries, or some of them come from a nursery that is also an ornamental nursery but handles larger native plants than we can get at the restoration nurseries. Okay, thank you for watching.